Hello, everybody. We are back. Can you believe it? Another segment, another show, right? We have a special guest today with us. This is Dr. Briley. Of course, I have
Alston
and Jasmine today. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Well, before we get into that, tell us something funny. So, we always start with something funny. So, tell us something funny, something good that happened to you today, or last week, or.
Okay, I don't really have anything funny, but something really good that happened last week is my son graduated from kindergarten.
Ooh, yeah.
I know. It's just so cute with their little caps and gowns, and they had little recitals. That was it. I almost cried. I don't like to cry, but I almost cried. So it was awesome.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
gotta do that trend. Have you seen where they're walking through their cap and gown at their elementary school and they like pass through a pillar? And then their senior year, you do the same thing. They come out the other side of the pillar.
Oh, I have to do that. I have to do something.
Capture
to
a
save
picture,
That got me.
and it goes so fast.
it. Yeah.
It goes so fast. I remember when he was really, really small, so it goes so fast,
Yes.
very, very fast.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
Anything today? Yesterday?
Last
week?
week? Yeah, this past week. 102-mile-per-hour winds. I don't know if that hit you.
Oh, yeah.
Where
that's
you
right.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're out playing cards on the deck because our family was in town. And it comes out of nowhere. And on the lake, there's like a straight line wind. I don't know how this works.
Right.
All of that works with the earth. We're setting out there a surfboard. Somebody left their paddle boards just in the water. Everybody just sets all their stuff. Shoots up. Everybody just ducks inside. And we're staring at the windows. Yeah, it's insane. And we have a glass table in the center of our dock that it just floats up real slowly and just flies like a wedge straight into the side of something and explodes
glass?
everywhere. Yep, glass.
Oh, wow.
Explodes everywhere.
crazy.
So
That's crazy.
man's like, all right, let's get out there. And I'm like, get out there.
Right.
I'm not picking nothing up.
Right,
None of
right.
that.
Glass.
Like the door, we were like, there's 3 people trying to pull it shut. Getting out there to pick up
Well,
glass.
it was no warning. Like last
there
week, it was
wasn't.
no warning.
No
Usually
one
we get
talked about that.
warnings on, and the weather's been kind of fickle lately. Like,
Yeah.
it's been really crazy. We've been getting like tornadoes in Texas.
Yeah.
Things we've never gotten before.
Yeah.
So things have been kind of shifting to a weird kind of weather pattern.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, well,
What's yours?
what's mine? So, America? No. No, so actually, every day is always something going on. But today I wanted to bring you something. So this is a gift to you.
Oh.
Did y'all see his facial expression? I was so waiting
I
for
never
that,
know
right?
what comes out of this great big bag of everything.
No, this is, so I got you this because we like to sometimes drink coffee or tea or whatever in our little mugs. So this is a collector's item, or not necessarily. That's Farm Rio.
Oh, that's
Farm Rio. So Farm Rio and Starbucks came together, and y'all know I love art. So that's a Farm Rio cup.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
In
beautiful.
blue.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah. So, yay! Spirit fingers for me. That was my takeaway. Oh, look. Emotional. Get the tissue. Get the tissue.
Emotional.
I know. So, I just wanted to give you a little something and say, hey, let's, keep going. Let's get our week started. Let's keep it going. So,
Thanks.
yeah. So, and you did something special for us today. What did you do?
Little mimosa.
Yeah.
I already started drinking mine.
Okay, so cheers to success, cheers to everything. But we're going to get into her business and we're going to talk. And so tell us a little bit about you, your family, your business name. And of course, when I met her, we met in a woman's circle, right? It was a couple of us. I think it was like 7 of us or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was an empowering group. And we were sharing ideals and stories and all kinds of things that can inspire us to do more and better. And so I've really watched her company grow. She's watched my company grow in this unified kind of circle. We disbanded the circle, but it's all good.
Yeah.
And for many reasons, but But you know who you are out there.
One main reason.
One main reason out there. We won't go there. You know, a little tea on the table, but you know who you are.
Yeah.
So, but let's get into some good positive stuff.
Okay, so my name is Jasmine Salgado. I co-own with my husband Bluestone Construction of Texas. We also own Signature Salon Studios and Salgado Investments. So we started everything through real estate. Real estate is the highway to all types of business ventures. So we started off flipping houses, and we flipped already since 2018 about 50 houses.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
We've had quite a few rentals since then, Airbnbs, but we've started to sell everything and kind of focus on Bluestone Construction. And we have our salon, which honestly, I like the landlord. I like the money flow of the salon better than the Airbnbs, just straightforward. But
and we'll tap into that because I would like to know more what you're saying. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. So with Bluestone Construction, we focus on luxury kitchens and baths.
Okay.
And we also do commercial build out. So if a company buys or rents a space, they want it customized to their business. They're growing, and we might need to add more clinic suites to it or offices to the space. That's what we specialize in.
Right.
And just the kitchens and baths, we meet the homeowner, go over their design ideas, and we cater to people that are looking for something specific. And the detail, someone who pays very close attention to detail.
The aesthetics. I tell people it's everything.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Exactly. Because the thing is, everybody, we all work hard, whether it's a 9 to 5 or you run your own business. You want to go home to a nice kitchen that you can entertain in.
Right.
Or you want to enjoy some champagne and a nice bubble bath, or take a shower with a shot of whiskey, whatever is your thing, and we bring it to our clients.
Right.
So,
it's luxury.
It's luxury. And we always try to guide them. Every now and then we'll get somebody that wants orange, like mustard colored cabinets with this, and we're like, ma'am,
the aesthetics is
let me put you in touch with our designer. We might even eat the cost on that just so we not
put because that's your stamp.
Yeah.
That's your stamp.
Because as good as we can do cabinets, mustard ain't gonna. Mustard yellow is not gonna look good. And we, most of our clients, all of our clients are awesome. All of them are awesome. It's just sometimes that's not their forte. Maybe they're a doctor and they're good at repairing hearts, but they're not good at picking out cabinet colors.
Right.
And that's fine. Right. That's fine. We're here.
Well, it's just the luxury feel of stuff. We always talk about like the art of real estate has so many different, entities of it, and I know that you're working on some remodel stuff, and I am too, kind of, sorta. So it's really brainstorming and looking at the art. So when you say you have a design team, that's really good that you offer that to your clients instead of just saying they come to you and then you say okay and just go with the flow, and that's your stamp. Like that's when somebody else comes in their house. They look around and they're like, what? Who did this?
Yeah. Right. And the thing
don't
is,
tell anybody my name's on that.
See?
We'll
right.
do it.
They're like,
Right.
we'll do it, but don't tell nobody. We want to be proud of what we put forward.
Right.
So if sometimes people need a little bit more direction, my husband, he's a general contractor, and he really does have an eye for design. Right. And then if he's busy, we have other people we can kind of shuffle our client, send our clients to.
Right.
But if it doesn't look right, he'll say, hey, Dr. B, how about this? I know you really like this aesthetic, but how about this?
How about we shift the paradigm?
How about we shift it? Yeah. And if you don't see eye to eye, he's like, well, maybe I'll put you in touch with Christy, who does a really good job.
Right.
So
you're calling my cabinets ugly.
Well, we do it in the friendliest way.
The friendliest and loving way.
Yeah, but you don't want to spend, 50,000 on a new kitchen, and then you take a step back and say, oh wait, they were right. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I want you to be happy.
and you want it to last, the durability for the next person, because you might not stay in that house forever, and most people in the state of Texas move around and other states move around.
Yeah.
They don't stay there forever. So you want to make sure it's user friendly for other people as well.
Yeah.
And you can speak more to that.
Yeah, I do go over that a lot with people. Okay. I'm like, you always, whenever you're doing anything, think in the mind of when you're going to resell it.
Yeah,
right.
I know you love this and it looks cool and fun, but don't do anything major like that to your house.
Right.
That somebody's probably not going to buy mustard painted cabinets.
Right, exactly.
Like,
and then you would have to do it all over again.
Yeah,
so
and most people are like, we like it. Obviously, somewhere out there, and I'm like, yeah, and I hope that one person that does is wanting to buy a house in Houston, Texas.
Right, exactly.
Right.
It's hard to just, you got to cater to the rest of the world. But at the same time, live where you're comfortable with what you want. You can do that.
And you can make changes you can put a mustard colored big art piece beside the wall.
Exactly.
That, do something that can be removable.
Right.
Yeah.
A vase.
Yeah.
With
so
one little piece of mustard on it. One little yellow. I got to get off the mustard. But.
So how's the market doing right now? How's the construction market doing in Texas?
It's doing good. It's doing good. We're doing good because there's a few things that go into having a successful construction company.
Okay.
That's quality, that's communication, that's consistency, a positive attitude, and the fifth thing, I'll say God. I'm sure that there's companies out there that may say, "Oh no, we're having a hard time," but nowadays people want authenticity. They want people that are going to listen to them.
Correct.
They don't want people that are going to be like, okay, I already know what you want. There's a lot of, especially in construction, they talk over the women. And
that's true.
And, quiet as it's kept, the women run the household.
Right.
As long,
right.
you have a big, strong man. He might have a 9mm right here and, a Glock on his leg. But at the end of the day, who does he come home to?
Right.
Who's cooking in the house?
Right.
The husband may cook 20-25% of the time, but when it comes down to the details of the house, the woman makes the choices. Mm-hmm. So as a company, my husband, he's awesome, so he listens to what the clients want. He's not because
attention to detail,
because there's certain people that we've tried to hire, that we've had shadow us, that we saw they try to talk over the client. Like, no. You let them talk. They're spending money. We want to hear what they have to say. Even if it's a mustard yellow, maybe we'll do a mustard yellow backsplash.
Trim or something, backsplash.
Because a backsplash, you can take it off.
That's a small section.
That's a small section
that you can take it away.
They can get what they want, and when it's time to sell, we can take that off and put gray or something that's aesthetically pleasing, because the trends change. So one moment it's gray, one moment it's grayish brown, another moment
tan.
Next year from now it might be tan, beige or something.
Actually, what I'm in love with, I think Austin is in
Totally.
love with it too, is the black aesthetic houses.
Yeah.
I love the black roof with the black accent on the outside of the house.
With the black doors and black trim. Yes. We have a client, she loved that. She had super, marshmallow white and then very black trim. There's a certain black, I forgot what it's called, and it's so piercing. It's beautiful.
Really?
Yes, with that aesthetic,
Yeah, that looks good. I've seen a couple.
No, but we've been on all black.
Yeah.
Black flooring, black countertop, black cabinet, black refrigerator.
Yeah, so when you come in, it just looks like, it looks great.
I like
pop
that.
of art on every wall.
Yeah,
I like
art.
Colorful
that
art.
colorful art. Now, once again, that home will, we just got through talking about don't do it so grand but when it's done that kind of way, I think everybody, when they walk into a house like that, they're like, oh my goodness.
It's sleek.
Who lives here?
What do they do for a living?
What do they do for a living? How can I do what they do? Yeah. So, and there were two that I've seen with you that I was like, man, this is really nice.
Yeah.
And barn dominiums are hot right now.
Yeah.
So, what in construction And I'll let Austin jump in too. But I just want to know, like, what in construction right now? Because Houston, Texas, and the subsidiaries, it is like, boom. It's like somebody pumped up this balloon, and then it's almost like I don't know, it's like a bam. And everything, everywhere you go, stuff is like construction here, new home build here. I mean, I don't even know how many you're the realtor. I don't know even how many we have going on, like new neighborhoods.
I couldn't even tell you the number because it's so out of control.
Wow.
And yeah, so many companies, because, you know, like most general contractors come from a production builder or a bigger company, and they're like, oh, I can do this. They're just taking money. I'm going to go start my own. So there's been quite a bit that are now Houston-based that have jumped off and started their own, which is awesome. It's cool to use. It's still a little local production builder pretty much. But so you're primarily in Montgomery County, right?
Yeah.
That's something I wanted to bring up. So what is it, moratorium? Have you heard about that going on? So that's like a state regulation that they'll put on an area whenever they decide they need to slow down building. So
really,
north side of Montgomery County right now is on one. Yeah,
part of my road.
That they're stopping.
They stop all building permits. You can't even get a pool put in your backyard.
Are you
right
serious?
Oh wow.
Northeast.
Okay, so what are they calling this now?
Moratorium, I believe, is the word.
Moratorium.
I can't remember the exact word. I believe that's it though.
Okay,
that's wild.
You haven't ran into that yet.
Because we still own real estate in Montgomery County, so we've ran into that, but that was more so previous builders were causing issue, but not so much that they're building so much that they're like stop.
Yeah,
that's wow.
It's crazy.
That's
Mostly
deep.
to do with utilities not being there in
Oh,
time.
you know
Okay,
what?
that's what with the well at our land it was a septic tank because we were going to build 3 houses. And they said that it wasn't, they needed more space. Instead of 5,000 square feet for a lot, they changed it to 0.75 acre per lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that's pretty disappointing when you buy a piece of property and then they go in and they change it. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Y'all stop that. Stop. And while you stopping it, like, share, and subscribe. You know? Put that little plug in.
Right.
But no, I didn't hear about that. But I do know my sister is building a home, and they did tell her that, and that's in Montgomery, right? Isn't that in Montgomery?
It's Montgomery County.
And they told her about the meter is going to take probably a longer time than it would have ever taken. And the developer is having issues getting those things in a timely manner.
That's just them trying to manage. So they'll only release so many to each builder every month.
Oh, wow.
So they'll say, we'll give you 3 meters.
Correct. I never heard anything like that.
I never heard actually let 3 people move in a month.
But that's the truth because she's building.
They're trying to slow it
and
down.
they're slowing the process down a little bit. Now don't come after us. We're just giving you the real.
Right.
Like this is real stories of what's happening to people that are experiencing it. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that that's how fast in Texas and everywhere things are growing. Texas is huge. Yeah. So very rural areas are experiencing, because you got to think about the county in different areas was designed to take care of the county, which is the grass, the maintaining of the county. But as people move and we start knocking things down, the county becomes a real like city.
Right.
And not necessarily what it was designed, because the county dollars are really designed to take care of forestry and just, basic necessity needs.
Right.
Yeah.
But now like here and there, but now what we're seeing is a whoop, it's like big.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's different. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's
ain't it?
right.
Okay.
I was just asking if you ran into that yet. And
No, I haven't, but that's good to know.
it's only one area, and the biggest one was Woodland Hills. Do you know where that's at?
Yeah, I know where that is.
830. So that's what sparked it all. And I was like, somebody ticked somebody off.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? Well, if you're not going to help figure this out, and you're just going to act like that and say, give me my permits to finish building,
right.
we'll just put a hold on it. Because they couldn't figure it out. Nobody could figure out what they were going to do, where the money is going to come from to.
Right.
Because they're looking ahead. The county's always looking ahead of, if they're moving at this rate and these builders over here are moving at this rate, is this water company that services this mud district going to be able to handle that many houses if they move at this rate in a year or 6 months? So they put a 6-month hold on any new builds in that district, that mud district.
Well, the mud district should get ready, honey, because mud districts get paid. You get paid to sit on the board. So, honey, let's get to work, y'all. Yeah. Let's get to work.
It's time to start working.
And can I get on a mud board? Somebody tag me. I know.
Yeah, right. You know, next month you're like, I'm on the mud board.
What did I do? What did I do? So the experience of someone coming to you, sometimes people want something done, but they don't have the resources. Yeah. And I know y'all do in-house financing.
Well, we do third-party financing.
Okay.
And what we currently have to help is we have 0% interest for the first 18 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's really attractive to new clients who are kind of weighing their options, because not a lot of times people have 50, 60, 70K to drop on the kitchen right then and there. And they have it, but they want to make payments slowly, and that's fine. So you have 18 months, 0% interest to do it. And that's a third-party financer through
finance. Okay, finance company.
Finance company, yes.
So I guess as soon as this drops on YouTube, y'all are going to blow up now.
Well, yeah. Of course. So go ahead and submit.
Right. 5,000 kitchens are being done.
Yeah. We got a waiting list.
Right.
So do you work with individual clients a lot on their primary home, or do you work with flippers?
So most of the time we work with people with their primary homes. There's a few times that we had a client in Montgomery County, that's where we usually are, where he had us remodeling in his Airbnb and did, something kind of funky, kind of cool. So, but most of the time it's with individuals on the residential side.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like
That's
that.
Nice.
More meaningful.
Yeah, because I'm a flipper, so they just want fast and cheap half the time.
Exactly.
Right.
Half the time, and that's what got us in here. Where we weren't fast and cheap people. We were like, we needed to look nice type of people, and everyone took notice. Realtors took notice. Our lenders, everybody took notice. Inspectors, everybody took notice. They're like, wow, this doesn't look like a flip house. This looks like somebody's home.
Right.
So
took the time.
We took the time because we have integrity, and we want, you put your name on something, you want it to mean something.
Right.
Fast and quick isn't always, hot and ready.
Right.
Hot and ready
Get
is
you in
not
trouble,
necessarily
honey.
good.
Yeah, in all entities, honey.
It's hot and ready. But it's not
Get you in
necessarily
trouble.
good. It will get you in trouble.
Right. So, but the entity of like the flipping.
Yeah.
Like when you say that, at one point there were like tons of people in that industry. Yeah. Like trying to be flippers, and they were doing like seminar classes.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that? You don't see them as much now.
Yeah.
But they were doing tax. Yeah. They were doing like
they had a tour bus and everything.
Yeah. But they were doing like tax liens and teaching people how to do that. Then when you get it, you got to flip it. Well, but they wasn't teaching some of the big components of it, because I did it for years to get where I'm at. Yeah. So going to the tax and bidding, getting a property. They didn't tell. I learned it through the county, going to the county. But you have to keep it for a certain amount of time. Yeah. You cannot just buy it, flip it, and go to the next.
Right back.
No, you have to give that person enough time to come back. Purchase it if they want, plus whatever you did to it. 9 times out of 10 they don't do it, and I think it was a year. I don't know if things changed.
I think a year too. I'm not sure. I forgot what it was, but yeah.
And I don't know if it was by county, because a lot of what I bought was Harris County and a few things outside of Harris County. But I do remember at that point when I was doing real estate and got to where I'm at owning the property management company, that income or revenue helped me to get to where I'm at. So I was there with the briefcase of money and raising up the thing and going, I got it. Now what is it? Right, because a lot of times you don't get a chance to really see it. You just drive by it. Yeah. You don't know what's going on in it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
So,
and then also, like, it's awesome that you went from there to where you are. That's just a blessing and a testament to how you do things. Like, you're on top of everything. Because the thing is, a lot of times with real estate, with flipping, they hide how they do certain things. Are that certain people I've had try to intentionally mislead you, so you don't know the correct way to do things, which is harmful to the industry as a whole. Right. Because if you lose $30,000, you're gonna be mad at the whole industry. Correct. Because there's enough money for everybody. To be honest,
I say that
there's
all the time.
Plenty of business to go around.
Plenty of business, enough money for everybody. I mean, that is so true in real estate, and you don't have to make all your money on one thing or one person.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, and some people go into it and try to make everything that they can possibly make off of one person.
Right.
Yeah.
And that hurts the industry too.
Yeah.
And it gives it a kind of like a sour bad name.
Yeah.
But the industry of real estate is actually beautiful, and then the luxury end, because that's why I brought you in on here. The podcast, because of the luxury end, because I've been into their facilities. Actually, I was going to manage one of their properties, but y'all changed it up and did some other stuff with it. But walking through that piece of property, I was like amazed, because it's a flip, but like you said, it looked like somebody was living there already or couldn't see themselves there.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's important. And so when I was saying, going back to the flipping, that was a hot commodity industry at one point, and you talked about Airbnbs versus, so tell us a little bit about that.
What I wish I knew at the start. Trusting Blue Scorpion Property Preservation Management Group with our commercial landscaping was the best decision ever. Blue Scorpion Property Preservation Management Group has been transforming commercial spaces into green paradises. Our clients can't stop raving about us. Just listen to what they have to say.
First client review. Our property has never looked this good. 5 stars all the way.
Second client review. Professional, reliable, and simply the best in the business. 5-star service.
From lush green lawns to vibrant floral displays, we've got it all covered. Our dedicated team ensures your property not only looks great but stands out.
Third client review. Their attention to detail is incredible. Our landscaping has never been in better hands. 5 stars.
Whether you're a business or an individual, Blue Scorpion Property Preservation Management Group brings expertise, reliability, and a touch of magic to every project. Ready to transform your property? Join the 5-Star Club! Because at Blue Scorpion Property Preservation Management Group, we believe every property deserves to shine. Blue Scorpion Property Preservation Management Group, where properties thrive.
So, the time has gone by fast. So, in 2020, 2021, we bought our first Airbnb. We bought a flip property, and we were like, we don't know if we want to Airbnb. So we're like, let's start Airbnb. So we had 2 Airbnbs. The money was good at first until the stuff with the insurance and the natural disasters, and it started eating into our income, where it's like, okay, I'm doing all this extra work and maybe I'm making $1,000 a month off of it. So it was nice at first, but with real estate, you have to be on top of your P's and Q's. You have to know how to count. So if you're not paying attention, your profit can go out the window.
Correct.
So we were like, well, while it's still hot, let's go ahead and sell it. So it was good while it was good. There was, don't get me wrong, Airbnb and Verbo, and even I talked to you about what is it called when the journeymen come and
the oil and gas industry. When
working with the oil and gas industry, they pay good. I remember one New Year's, I got a notification on my phone that someone had instant booked 3 months on my Airbnb, and that was $15,000.
Right, like that
to be deposited in the next 3 to 4 business days.
Right.
And with that's a blessing right there. That's a Christmas miracle.
Right.
When you're already empty, and then all of a sudden God's like, 3 months full, it's gonna be in your account in 3 days.
Right.
So it was good while it was good, but after a while we had to start preparing for the future and moving strategically. Because once I did my numbers on one of them, I'm like, we're not making what we want to be making.
Right.
And in real estate, some people may say, and $1,000 a month, it's good. But to me, that's a whole month, only $1,000.
I want some big money.
I need
my expenses.
Mama need.
Yeah, my expenses. Look at
Mama
what we're
need.
drinking. Like,
Mama need.
Yes. So luxury.
So luxury, we started getting into well, we've already been in remodeling. We've been remodeling our own houses, but started remodeling for the public. And then that's what we bought our commercial building, and that's what led to us opening Salon Suites. And Salon Suites is good. It's good.
I'm thinking about purchasing one actually. I'm thinking. Yeah, but you're gonna have to teach me and guide me on that.
I'll guide you. I'll hold your hand. We go.
Because I've seen the industry of that portion in real estate, and it's looking very tasty.
Yeah.
And I'm right now. I'm kind of dipping my little fingers in it and like looking and saying, is it? And I'm like, oh, the water's warm.
And see, like, you know, I had my baby 7 months ago. I've only been at my salon maybe a handful of times since I gave birth 7 months.
Right.
And that's
because that's the thing, you want to get into real estate, is making you money while you're,
and they're their own business people, so it's not like Airbnb when they're like, oh, hey, like there's a spot right here, can you sit? I had a lady call me, there's an impala in the backyard by the fence, can you come? Sure,
I'll be there.
I'll send somebody, but there's
and
a lot.
Cost.
Every time I send somebody out there, it costs. And it seems like sometimes in Airbnb they intentionally start adding just because they don't want you to make any profit. Like, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you send somebody for this? It's like, ma'am, the AC, you just need to turn it down or turn it up.
Yeah.
So is it going away? Do y'all? Because I know in real estate, so just hit me to it, because I know you probably see Airbnbs out there, or do you see a lot of Airbnbs anymore? There was a niche for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I just think a lot of people are doing like what you have done too, and decided, the guys that did figure it out, like you decided, and girls, that this isn't exactly the income to match what I was trying to do whenever I could have been, like I used to just flip and I was making way bigger chunks just getting rid of the property. Hang on to it and having a residual income every month sounded good. It's not what I was thinking it was, but I think also, so those guys have stepped out, and girls, and then the people that just thought, ooh, I can figure this out and do this myself. I've never done real estate before, but all I gotta do is make a cool, fun, little house, little cheap house.
Right.
And the Airbnb arbitrage, have you seen that or heard of that?
I've heard of that.
Which there's lots of people getting in trouble now because it's where I've seen some people that I know have done it, they'll look for large companies that own properties that are leasing out, and they know that they don't really keep an eye on them, so they're never going to know if I'm Airbnb out. They don't know who's coming in and out of that place. They are in Philadelphia that manage this property. They're not going to send anybody out here to look and see if I have other people staying here. So they'll go, it's like a hack where they lease it, and they're technically subleasing because they're Airbnb-ing out the house that they lease out. So they never have a mortgage. All they're tied into is a lease. Right. And they decorate it cool and just go stay somewhere else. To Airbnb it out for the weekend. But now that's caught up. Everyone's caught on to what they're doing. Now property managers pay attention to their properties, and I'm kind of kicked those people from doing that, which is
and
good.
HOAs hate them. And I know why, because you have a person that has rented. You are in a neighborhood, because we've had to kind of kick some people out and go, no, we don't do Airbnbs in the neighborhood, because this is our property, this is our real estate. And sometimes people come in, throw a crazy pool party, and leave it trashed out.
Right. Yeah.
And you don't want to be living by that in an apartment, Airbnb, or what have you. So the industry has definitely caught up.
Down a little bit, for sure. Yeah. But I know it's still big. I mean, I stay in them. My family does. Because it's especially in the luxury market. I just want to say I love about that because I have a huge family. So whenever we go somewhere, we need 12 bedrooms. So that's why we travel. So to be able to stay in this luxury 12-bedroom home, and it being a reasonable price, well, that's what 12 hotel rooms. That's cheaper than 12 hotel rooms. Exactly. And we get a whole house in together, can cook dinner, and just stay in there if we want to. So.
And then I think from being in speaking with other Airbnb owners, what they try to do to kind of keep the party, keep their guests the best guess, they ask for a deposit up front. And that weeds out a lot of people. And let me see some ID.
Because you got to have that big deposit on a credit card or something. If you don't even have that like that, then you don't need to be in that luxury or Airbnb, because that means if you tear it up, you can't pay for it.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that on your credit card, because I know there was a place and we were going to do Airbnb for my sister where she was going to build her home, and they wanted an $18,000 deposit.
Oh, wow.
$18,000. And I was like, okay. Now, it's not saying I didn't have it on the credit card, but I was like, but what if we get there and we don't like what we see? Like, what if the pictures look different than because I've seen that. I've seen, even in hotels. I've seen where the pictures look different. And
they're from 1999 when the building was
right. And I definitely didn't want an episode. I was a Martin fan when when that little raccoon or whatever came into
not the raccoon,
or it was some kind of family pet or something. But so I was just kind of gauging that industry when you brought it up earlier about Airbnbs, because that has. I mean, it's like always some kind of trend in real estate. It's like, oh, we're doing this now. And then they'll recycle it back like bell bottoms. They'll recycle it back and be like, okay, this is hot again. This is where it's at. With a little bit of twist on it.
And exactly. Like, even with the Airbnbs we kind of slowed down and we're focusing on the travel nurses, the journeymen, because those are people, they're here for work. They're not here to party. Right. And if I have my house and I have like older neighbors, or even one of the properties we had our HOA president lived right across the cul-de-sac from the house, and he called my husband out he was like, "There's a woman outside your house with scantily clad clothes on." It's like,
but that's good that he keeps an eye on it.
But it's like, okay, can a lady go to the club and with a little dress? Right. But he was like, we don't like that in our neighborhood. There's women coming in and out of here late at night. And I was like, okay, well, we got their ID. We do a background check. Right. So we make sure, and we had to have a conversation because, like you said, HOAs do not like that. But they need to know
I'm an HOA president.
Right. And I understand.
And get ready for a show, y'all, because I think I'm going to start an HOA show pretty soon.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah,
because I know you got
stories. A series.
I know you got stories.
I got a lot of stories.
Look, and we had to talk to him like, hey, we're on top of everybody. Right. If you need those people's information, obviously, but we have their information. We know who they are. Maybe they're out on the town. She wearing a short dress, but we're gonna
make sure that it's not gonna be rowdy. It's not gonna have some crazy music.
Yeah,
they're not gonna disrespect the community, stuff like that. So when you work hand in hand, it makes it better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That way people don't get paranoid. Like they're gonna tear up our property values.
We spend a lot on taxes and insurance every year.
Talk about taxes.
Because I don't know if y'all seen the tax bill this year.
Oh yes, I have. And please, everyone, fight your taxes. Fight your taxes.
Yeah, protest.
Right,
because everything is expensive. So, like you said, there's always ways around other options than Airbnb, and Airbnb is still a good choice. It's just you gotta work it and stay on top of your numbers.
Yeah. So let me ask you this real quick: when you talk about taxes and you go in and you renovate and you change something. Have you had a piece of property that you had not flipped before the taxes came in and then seen the taxes were? Because, sometimes they have these night cruisers that come through the neighborhood and they're like, and giving it back to the county.
Yeah.
And so with that said, have you ever held on to a piece of property you redid and then now the taxes are skying out the roof?
Yeah. Because especially if we hold on it, when we were flipping houses, we had to come in very strategically. I have my spreadsheet and everything because honestly, we want to be in and out.
Right.
So we try to avoid the tax man as much as we can and see him at the closing table.
Right.
Okay, this is what we owe. Okay, cool. But there are houses that we've held on to, especially we bought a homestead property and their taxes might have been $2,000. But then once we buy it, it's $7,900.
Right.
So...
and that goes into your spreadsheet.
It does.
Okay.
It does because that's the numbers I gotta keep keep track of, so I know, did we lose money on this property or did we make it? Did we really make $40,000 on this property, or did we only make $15,000 on this property?
Is there any secrets you can share
I was
about
about to say, speaking on that, so you pay attention to whenever you all buy property?
Yeah.
The homestead, see, no one ever thinks about that. But
You talked
what
about that
the
before.
taxes I
Yep.
have might change.
Yep.
Because I preached to my clients, and
Yep.
I'm like, this has a veteran exemption on it, because they're like, taxes are low, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, well, you're none of that. So
right.
so your taxes won't be
Right,
that.
and it's a
you can
surprise to a lot
tax
of people.
yourself out of your house. People do that all the time.
That is true.
You won't be able to afford your mortgage next year whenever that next
Right.
tax bill comes out.
That is
And
true.
so
And then you
I'll
see that
sit
for
there
sale
and-
sign all of a sudden they moved in and now they're moving out.
Exactly.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And then, do you see that with the new homes where maybe there was a mistake by the builder and they gave them the tax value
Yes.
of the property before they built
It's that
on
land
there?
value.
Yeah.
And then
Always.
once
Always.
the neighborhood is built up, their taxes are crazy.
Yeah.
I lost
Yeah.
neighbors like that.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford it.
And I
So,
talked
yeah.
about one with same scenario, and I always talk to people about that with new, especially the larger like master plan communities. I
Mm-hmm.
said this tax rate will not be this. Once they have to build a new water station and everything in here,
Correct.
that mud district is also your highest taxing district on your
Correct.
tax record if you'll look at the percentage. And then on top of that, they're gonna go up. And then on top of that, right now you're being taxed at $89,000. Your house is not $89,000.
No, it's worth like
so-
1 point, yeah, whatever.
So,
It's-
yeah.
And it's the educational part, and this is why I love this podcast. Like seriously, because we're having very just casual conversations. We're really speaking about truth.
Yeah.
Like this is like things that happen, and you hate to see people actually say, "We got to move. We just moved in, and we're only here 2 years, and we got to move because." We can't. So that's why I said in construction, have you seen, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you seen that? And
Yeah.
that's sad at times.
It
Yeah,
is.
it is.
That's why it's big to use someone in real estate that you
That-
know and pay
Right.
attention to those things and care to mention it to those
Right.
things.
Exactly.
Not
And-
just selling you a product.
Exactly. And like you said, have a realtor that knows what they're doing, because
Correct.
sometimes people, they'll follow the big name realtor, but they'll get their cousin to sell the house to them and do all the paperwork.
Pookie in them.
And
Yeah.
they're like, well, and they're like, well, my cousin just got her
Right,
real
she
estate
just got
license.
a
I'm
real
just trying to
yeah.
help her out. And then they'll call Austin like, hey, like,
Right.
I'm trying to go through all this, but my
Right.
cousin now she's doing hair now or doing nails
Right.
now, because a lot of realtors, quiet as it's kept, there's really good realtors and there's realtors, it's their side business.
Right.
And when you're making big moves, especially when it comes to where your family are going to stay for the next 10, 20 years, you want someone who's professional,
Right.
who
Right.
knows what they're talking about.
Right.
Right.
No, that's absolute truth.
And I even work for one of the big names, but also I'm not the 30-year-old realtor in Houston that
Right.
has sold millions and millions, but I actually had this talk with a builder that I'm trying to gain, and we're sitting down next week. But
Congrats.
thank you.
Congrats.
It's been a lot of talking, but something that I
Wonderful.
literally laid out for him, and I'm like, I will show you numbers and go through all kinds of records for you to prove to you why this matters of not paying attention to this big person, this big name,
Right.
because they sell a lot of houses.
Right.
And I'll break it down for you and list out, okay, if George Blow sells 100 houses a month, do you think George Blow goes to every single client, talks to all 100 clients every single
Right.
day,
Yeah.
and pays attention to every single $100 deal or every single 100 one of these clients,
Right.
and puts their hand on the tax record and go? You
Right.
think one person has enough time to do that?
Yeah.
Absolutely
None.
not.
None.
So get somebody that you think, and maybe Joe Blow does pick 2 or 3 that
Right.
they go through and put the work into it. But I said that is literally impossible for one person
Right.
to go through. They are just putting it on the
Numbers.
MLS for you. Yeah, that is
Right.
a list and go service.
Yeah.
Right.
And
But it goes back to say, we've always said this on this show, relationships.
Yeah.
You know, and taking out that time.
Right.
Because that means you're taking out the time to look at key indicators that's going to pop up, down the line. And I think that that's important, because my biggest thing, even as an HOA president, when you don't pay your dues to the HOA, we have a management company. Property management companies always manage, the HOAs and stuff. But the biggest thing I always tell people is the American dream is to own a home and to be in your home. The American nightmare is to lose your house.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Because you could lose it through taxes. You could lose it through just a whole, especially for a new home buyer.
Yeah.
Or someone in the luxury industry, what we talk about all the time, coming to money.
Yeah.
Whether it's a celebrity or whoever coming to money, they get this big old house and they're hot now and they're not hot later. Yeah. Or, get you into something that's comfortable for you and your family. You don't need 18 bedrooms. Like, what is really going on? Unless you're like, a UN ambassador or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That you're flying people in to actually stay at your domain and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So that's key, Austin. That really is, and that's a touch of excellence, and that's a touch of excellence of thinking that out for our clients.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what else you have for?
Well, yeah. What else in the luxury market? I was thinking of something earlier that you were hitting on kitchens and bathrooms.
Yeah.
So you focus on just those. You'll do a full house reno for somebody, right? You'll come in.
Yeah, we'll do a full house renovation. We cover patios, roofs. We can do everything, but our main focus is luxury kitchen and baths.
Right, and I was just thinking that that's something I always point out to people whenever they're wondering, like whenever I do a walkthrough with somebody. Main 3 things that you want to fix, update, are your bathrooms and your kitchen.
Exactly.
That's where we all spend a lot of time, and where it all matters, what it looks like.
Right.
And there's key things in there. But what else do you think you have in there for people to pay attention to? Maybe it's in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Easy. What are your top 3 things in the kitchen that you want to hit?
That
you pay attention to.
That we pay attention to. The cabinets. A nice island. Another thing that we've been doing is custom overhood.
The range.
The hoods. We'll have our carpenter make custom hoods. One client recently, we built it, and then she wanted us to burn the wood on it and then seal it, and it looks really, really good.
That's different.
She and she came in with a lot of ideas that looked really, really nice. It came together beautifully. She had it's not teal, but bottom cabinets are a lighter kind of blue and the top are white, and then she has like the custom wood pieces throughout the kitchen.
That's nice.
So yeah.
So as we kind of wrap it up, I want the listeners, in case someone, has always been dreaming and, been that person watch HGTV or just been out there just dreaming and saying, I want to step my foot into the water. What is like one thing one takeaway you could help somebody that wants to be in the construction world that you would, just a piece of advice?
A piece of advice. I say have integrity in your work and networking and keeping a positive attitude. One thing that, and I'll make it brief, but when you're working on someone's home, their kitchen, their bathroom, it's a very stressful time for them. Their kitchen, mom or dad can't cook. They're eating out. It's a very stressful time. It's exciting. They go through all these emotions, and you, as the contractor or the project manager, have to just be level, because they're going through things. They might be upset because something that's so trivial, and you have to just maintain a positive attitude.
Right.
And of course, have good work. Take pride in your work.
Right.
Because that's what matters.
Right.
When you're long and gone, 5 years from now, they're still gonna be talking about how you did their cabinets and how you did everything. So good work, good communication, and positive attitude.
I saw one of y'all's commercials, and y'all had a customer on there talking about their renovation and how they absolutely love it. I think, was it a fireplace? It was something. I saw one of the documentaries on it. So keep it going. I mean, good work. Congratulations. It's always amazing to see people grow and
Thank
see
you.
things happening.
Always.
And thank you for taking out the time to be on this podcast.
Thank y'all for having me. I had a good time talking, drinking. I had a good laugh about the raccoons. Yeah, but we have a good time. So.
Right. No, I really appreciate it. Well, everybody, we're going to leave you with this note. Stay positive. Look at things in the industry. There's always money to be made in real estate, the luxury end especially, but anything real estate. Fine tune what you want to do. It's okay to jump around, make your money here, jump into something else. But like always, share, like, and subscribe, and let everybody know about this podcast. And thank you so much. Y'all stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, and I'll do the same. Bye.